In Victoria's Inner Harbour today, there was a big lift and a big letdown. A crane hoisted the 250-ton rail span from its place on the Johnson Street Bridge, where it's been carrying traffic since the 20s. It's the end of an era, the start of a new one. The operation was smooth sailing from start to finish, but for some, no cause for celebration. CTV's Aaron Glazier has more.
Standing in the pouring rain, construction workers brace themselves for the removal of the rail portion of the Blue Bridge, and it is a spectacle drawing a large crowd.
It's fairly impressive to see such large equipment in play, and so that's what I was hoping to do today, catch the last day of the rail span.
Shirley Van Dyke and her grandson Ashwin came all the way down from the Cowichan Valley.
He absolutely lives for backhoes, cranes, and dump trucks.
What's the crane doing?
Lifting the bridge off.
Is it fun to watch?
Around 11:30, the lines around the span became taut and workers fired up their blowtorches as crews began cutting through the 87-year-old steel. Traffic was then blocked off and the rail span's last remaining supports were severed. The moment of truth began.
I'm going to need you on by the drop bridge there, please. Hey there.
After carrying thousands of rail passengers across the upper harbor, the span was left hanging in the balance on its way to greener pastures.
It took us about 3 hours, and the structure ended up to be lifted and moved and dropped in place exactly as planned. We couldn't have executed it to any better expectations today.
But there were people in the crowd who are still upset the bridge is being demolished.
This is the beginning of what's going to be a very complicated and expensive project. So we just have to watch it step by step.
Crockford claims the almost $2 million bridge removal price tag is at least 80% more than the original estimate.
Some of the additional cost there is because we're having to mobilize another contractor, and that's something that wasn't anticipated with original estimates.
All part of the process, says the city. It hired survey crews to make sure the removal went off without a hitch. As the span was carefully lowered and maneuvered onto the barge, crews nearby made sure nothing had shifted in the process.
No, everything is exactly the same as it was the day before, so no, it hasn't gone anywhere yet, and I don't expect it's going to go anywhere soon.
The question now becomes, what happens to the 500-ton concrete counterweight currently resting on the remainder of the rail bridge? Well, the city of Victoria says it will take at least a couple of weeks to chip away at.
It's in a secure spot, and it'll be smashed apart and hauled away over the next 10 days. We should be completely wrapped up here by the middle or end of March.
The Blue Bridge will now serve out the remainder of its duty solely as a pedestrian, bike, and vehicle deck. The new bridge will be constructed alongside it with a 2016 completion date.
I'm looking forward to seeing the new one. It'll be exciting to see it develop.
Aaron Glazier, CTV News, Victoria.